The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on This Morning on ITV,
we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television. This Morning on ITV, TMI. Join us.
Thank you for your time. It's still TMI, and we have this before us, the topic, which is on social programs funding and capital projects funding in Nigeria and towards poverty reduction. You agree with me that United Nations set aside this day as International Day for Poverty Reduction. And discussing this vital and sensitive topic with me, starting from my extreme left, I have an erudite political analyst. He passes also for a public affairs analyst, and he's a clergyman, Bishop Austin Igbasa. Many thanks for coming, sir. And of course, I have a politician, an erudite one at that. He's no one else but Prince Gregory Ogiogwa. Many thanks for coming, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
All right, let's start with the statement credited to the president of World Bank Group, Jim Yong Kim, where he made it clear at Washington, D.C., expressing that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has given him the attention to pay on the northern Nigeria in terms of the projects of the World Bank. And the World Bank has 14 projects, and it happened that 14 projects out of this, we have 7 projects for the northern Nigeria. And this impression shows that somehow the president seems lopsided in terms of capital projects implementation across the country. What do you make of that, Prince Greg?
Well, I mean, you said it was World Bank funding. And I'm sure that the World Bank funding is not even up to possibly maybe 20, probably won't even be up to 10% of our total funding for infrastructural development. So if you're talking about half of the World Bank projects, 7 out of 14, and that 14 is not even up to 10%, you're looking at something like maybe 5%. So if 5% funded by the World Bank is concentrated in the north, and the north starts from basically Kwara State and goes all the way to Adamawa and Borno and Bauchi, if 7 goes in that direction and 7 comes in this direction, I think that's perfectly fair.
It could have been, but look at the aspect where the other 6 projects, which are cut across health sectors, cut across road rehabilitation, is also taking attention on the north.
Well, look at
we have other 6 projects, and the north is also part of this.
We're talking about 14.
Benefits.
You said 14.
Yes.
Out of
7 for the north,
yes,
and then the other 6 for the whole Nigeria.
No.
Why 1 for Lagos? That's what reports have it.
Well,
and so there is this impression that
7 for the north.
Yes.
Then
and the other 6 for the whole country,
yes,
which means the north will also benefit from this other 6 projects. And also we have 1 for Lagos.
Yes.
Looking at this, does it carry the picture of a federal entity? Does it carry the picture of being liberal to ensure that every region in the country gets same attention?
No, you can't have the same attention because you don't have the same needs. You don't have the same needs, so you can't have the same attention. When the Niger Delta has the need for ecological resurrection by dealing with the oil spills and the ecological devastation, it is the South-South that has that need. And that's why President Buhari started by cleaning up the South-South. The Northwest or the Northeast didn't have that need. So you can't say that because, you have to treat everybody equal. What are they going to clean up in the North? So it's the South-South that needed cleaning up, Ogoni in particular. So that's the need there. If the need in the North, as a result of the devastation from Boko Haram, is accelerated development, if the need of the North is also an accelerated, what you call affirmative action, in terms of education, in terms of health, then if that's what they need, that's what they should get. And if you look at the fact that, majority of the economic infrastructure in Nigeria are in the south. Just look at Edo and Delta alone, just these two states. Between Edo and Delta, we're planning to build a deep sea port in Gele Gele. That's one. There's one in Koko. There's one in Warri. There's one in Saple. Then there's one in Port Harcourt. And there's one in Calabar. How many ports do you have in the north? Meanwhile, we can build a port in the north if you dredge the River Niger going up north. We must get away from this parochialism of thinking that the north and the south, whatever it is that benefits the north, benefits Igbos, Yorubas, and whoever it is that lives in the north. Whatever it is benefits the south, benefits the Hausas, Fulanis, whoever it is that lives in the south. That's what is important. Nigerians live here, go to the United States and become millionaires and billionaires. What's stopping a Benin man from going to Kaduna? And let me tell you something. If the roads in the north are better, the cost of corn in the south will be cheaper, because it will then become easier for them to bring the corn down to the south of Nigeria instead of taking it to Chad. Tomatoes will be cheaper. And guess who the transporters are? Southerners. The majority taxi drivers in Kaduna and Kano are Yoruba men. So if you repair the roads in Kano and Kaduna and you improve the metropolitan transportation system, it's the Yorubas in the north that will benefit the most. We must get away from this parochial idea.
Okay, thank you. Just like we can see on the screen, we have bad roads, just as we have in the north, we have in the southeast, we have in other parts of the country. And this actually is sparking agitations from the Niger Delta militants, where the Niger Delta Revolutionary Crusaders did say that they could be embarking on digital strike on oil facilities in the Niger Delta if there is no turning back from this arrangement.
Why didn't Jonathan
so
do
I
it
will
when he
want
was
your
president?
reaction to that.
Why didn't Jonathan
in respect
do
of
it?
this present arrangement where the
didn't-
World Bank
when
is
we had-
embarking on that project, which tends to favor more of the north? Bishop Austin.
Yeah, I want to say that my brother, the Prince, he talks as a politician, and I expected him to talk in that direction. I don't expect him to say something contrary to what he has said. Now I expect that. Now, number one, in my place, they accused you that you always curse people. You are cursing too much. The person I replied and said, anybody that said, who say I'm cursing somebody, Ogun go kill her, Orunmila go kill her. They now said, if we cannot confirm the accusation, what of the one you have just said now, that Ogun will kill somebody or Orunmila will kill this one because somebody said you are cursing? If we don't believe the one they accuse you of, what of the one you are saying right now? Let me start by saying, our president, with due respect to his office, is a northern president. And I will give you my example. Number one, I want you to take your mind back. Now, even the president was on the sick bed and he recorded during Eid al-Fitr or Maulud, to greet the whole country in one language.
No.
That is one thing. He didn't greet anybody in Yoruba. He didn't greet anybody in Igbo. And I think that Hausa language is not a language of everybody. That is one. Number two, as we are talking to you today, out of 19 security service chiefs, 16 come from the north. And the other three that came from the south, the Calabar man, the Yoruba man, the other one is on suspension, leave that there. Now, we want to build, the man said something outside the country, they say Washington, that you don't expect people that give me 97 votes to get this, 97% to get the same attention. I don't know how we are packaging a man who says his mind. He comes out and says, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. If you look at the information manager of the president, they always come out. If you look at it, we have never had it like this in this country, where information managers will insult Nigerians, they will be hard on Nigerians. Anything you say that is contrary to the president, you must be insulted. Nigeria integrity, Nigeria intelligence is being insulted by even the information managers. And I'm of the same opinion that by the grace of God, by 2019, when people will be going for election, we will come to a level where politicians and governors and presidents will be talking by themselves, that they must not talk through anybody who is an information manager. Because we hear that I was told to say this one, I was told to say this one. People that went on campaign ground to tell us what they want to do now are talking to us through another person. If the World Bank president can come out, if that man is a Nigerian, he will package that statement. But because you know a white man will be so blunt and say it the way it is, and the man come out and say, this man told me to pay attention on the north. Is that a statement of an elder statesman? What do you want to bring out of that? You want to dissect the message of a man who said, concentrate your attention.
But the presidency also said that this was made known because this was said by the president because of the beleaguered Northeast,
yes,
which the Nigerian government, the federal government, is trying to rebuild.
You see, my brother, let me tell you, a father of a nation. If you look at a father of a nation, that he believes that everybody is my children, everybody, even including the bad person. I'm a bishop now. I have people in the church that doesn't obey church rule. I don't, because of that, excommunicate them. Because why? I believe that those children that are not even following the instruction of God today can tomorrow become an evangelist. The reason why I'm preaching to them, the Bible says faith cometh by hearing. Are you hearing me? I was once an occult man, born in an occult family. If I didn't hear the word of God, today I won't carry Bible. If everybody ostracized me and say, oh, this one, the father is a native doctor, they are going to hell, they are already in hellfire, I won't today be who I am. Now, what I want to say is that out of 19 security service chief, we have 16. Today, we have herdsmen killing people. No single person will be arrested or prosecuted, but people carry placard today, they have been proscribed, they have been given a name. Now, what do you bring out of this? Somebody talk about hate speech, and I ask them, when you have a hate action, why should you say somebody should not make a hate speech? Because, number one, if you mess, you have already invited flies to come around. A person that has saw has invited flies. If a president is going to talk to such a man, now, young man, this is what we have. We have some challenges here. But I want you to look at this one. The man made a clear statement. He said, the president told me to focus my attention. Everybody, is there any part of Nigeria that is not degraded today? Do you go to the south and go and look at the South Seas? Go and look at their roads. Go and look at the Niger Delta that we're talking about. How many hours you be on the road? What I'm saying is that it's not, if Jonathan was in power and he want to do all this one, concentrate on my own, by today, I think Niger Delta will have become heaven. Okay. If politics is all about my people and it is not the people, it is by my own people. If it is by my people, today they are killing people, they are maiming people. In my village, they kill people and you don't go to police station. Even the DPO will ask you to go back. Even when people are murdered inside the farm, and yet you call us one Nigeria, and you said you are a father of all of us. Even if you tell us you are our father, and nobody is arrested today, herdsmen, all the people that carry placard, and they go on the street, they don't carry gun, today they are terrorists. But the people that are killing and maiming, nobody has gone to court. Do you have anything to say about that one? All the head of security organs today are from one side of the country. Is that a federal character? Okay. Then you want to tell me now that every part of Nigeria does not have problem? Every part of this country have major problem.
So if they should be given equal attention.
Yes, attention. Not about the man is saying concentrate on the north. If you say northeast, we are talking about, oh, this area have suffered this one. He said concentrate your attention on the north. The man said, he told me. Definitely the president is going to talk to the whole Nigeria. He won't tell you that he has told the man. But the man came out to come and say, he told me to focus on. Well, now, if you said the president is right, what about all these appointments? Into security organ is also right? That today you go to police station, what is happening here and there, because some people who are doing this thing are from one part of Nigeria, and there are people that are holding those sensitive positions, and nobody is being arrested for that.
Thank you. Let me pause. But
today when you go over, you see I put people in prisons and all that, and no herdsman is in any prison in Nigeria.
Thank you. Let me pause you there. Invisible? Let me pause you there. Let's look at the agitations, Prince Greg. Let's look at the agitations of the 21st century youths of the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta Revolutionary Crusaders, who are really giving ultimatum this time over hitting oil explorations in the Niger Delta, stopping the flow. Now, they are saying this based on the seemingly, as alleged, that the failed implementation of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum 16-point agenda by the federal government. What do you think about this?
Look, my brother, the bishop, says that, you know, information managers usually insult Nigerians' intelligence and so on. You know, I don't think it's really insulting the intelligence of Nigerians. I think that Nigerians generally have become very myopic in their views. That's to even put it kindly. They have become very myopic in their views.
Is that not like an insult to Nigerians?
No, it's not. It's a statement of fact. I'm a Nigerian myself. I'm a Nigerian, and I believe that we have become very myopic in our views. Now, you see these Niger Delta youths who are agitating now. 9 years from now, they're not going to be able to sell oil for $25 a barrel. They won't be able to. So they can agitate all they like. They can stop oil if oil doesn't flow from the Niger Delta, and oil companies cannot go there to invest. They are the ones that will not have jobs. They will not have jobs. If they bust the pipelines, it is their farmland that will get devastated.
But what do you make of this, bearing it in mind that they see themselves as the goose that lays the golden eggs?
Well, they're very wrong.
And at the end, they are not fairly treated.
No, but they're very wrong, because you have to first understand that the onshore oil that is produced in the Niger Delta is only 14% of the total amount of oil that Nigeria sells. Most of our oil is offshore. It's a fact. What the Niger Delta produces is 14%. We had a Niger Delta president for about 6 years. Why did he not increase the derivation principle from 13% to even 18 or 20%? It took a Southwest governor, a Southwest president, Obasanjo, to give us 13%. Why did Jonathan, when he was there, not increase it to 18% and let people accuse him of being discriminatory to the South-South? If that is what we're agitating for now. Why didn't they build the what's it called? The East-West Highway, Coastal Highway, that Obasanjo started as a Southwest president? Why did the South-South president not do it in his own time? And they put money in there. We have a Niger Delta ministry. We have a Niger Delta commission, development commission. You point out one thing that they've done.
Okay,
and then you're saying that the youth are agitating. Agitating at what?
What about the implementation of the PANDEF 60-point agenda that was arrived at on the 3rd of August?
Of what? That is totally unrealistic. Absolutely unrealistic.
Okay, so
absolutely unrealistic given the current economic realities in the world.
Are you by this suggesting that the federal government will not implement that 60-point agenda?
I'm not saying so. I'm just simply saying that if they have the money to do so, and if means are there to do so, let them do so. If they can't, let the Niger Delta youth do their worst. What are they going to do? Break away from Nigeria and sell what? Oil.
But don't you think what you are saying is sending the wrong signal?
I'm not sending the wrong signal. I think that people are getting very tired. A lot of us in Nigeria are getting very tired of people who do not sit down and look at the facts. Look at the facts. The oil that comes out from the Niger Delta is only 14% of what is sold on the international market. We are not most of the oil is offshore, and it belongs to the entire Nigeria.
Okay, well, by law. This forum is to make sure that agitations are ended.
No, agitations.
This forum is not to excite violence or pain.
It is light because Bishop said if people are talking about hate speech, how about hate action and so on, hate speech. I am saying now
hate
that
appointment.
the way that you can get rid of hate is by shining light. The way you can get rid of darkness is by shining light. And it is the facts and the truth that shines light on these situations. When they now say that Buhari is trying to Islam, there was one time there was a funny rumor going around that they were trying to Islamize Nigeria. I mean, this guy has a vice president who is a pastor.
It doesn't matter.
No, it matters. You are a bishop. You are a bishop.
Okay,
are you saying now that if you are vice president?
Hold on. I'm sure that viewers are watching, and the essence of this forum is to educate.
I know, and that's what we're trying to do. So are you trying to say now?
Let's look at. Please, you are not the anchor, Prince Gregory.
Hold on, sir.
You are not to ask him a question. But let's look at this because you are before the viewers, and let's conduct ourselves in a manner that will be acceptable as a social norm. Now, Prince Gregory, I ask you this question: the aspect of bringing peace to the Niger Delta. The aspect of ensuring that the Ogoni land is properly cleaned up, is it not a priority for the federal government?
I think it was this government that started the cleaning up of Ogoni land. It was not the South-South president. It was this government of the Fulani man that you are calling the Fulani man. He started the cleanup of the Niger Delta. The Ogoni man was there. The Ijo man was there for how many years? He didn't do so. The Southerners were there for how many years? They didn't do it. The roads are there. They haven't done it. In this Edo state alone, majority of our agricultural products come from Edo North and Edo Central. You can't get them to Benin today because the roads are bad. We've had 3 ministers of works.
Thank you. Bishop Austin Igbasan.
3 ministers of works. Are you blaming Buhari for that?
Let's the agitations of the Niger Delta alongside what he just said. What are your thoughts?
I will still maintain the particular area that I look at this government from. Let me give you an example. We have about chief of army staff, about 3 of them, that run through a particular panel of EFCC. We have Ike Ejika, we have Kenneth Minima, we have the present Minister of Interior. And so many things were said. At the end of the day, the man was exempted from the report of every other person because they came from some part of Nigeria. Who is a fool? The same president came, when he came into power, he said, any civil servant that have house outside this country, I will track corruption and those houses will be confiscated. Chief of Army Staff, as we are talking today, it is the same president who came out to say the man bought all those houses for his wife with his salary. Who is a fool? Now you want other people who are seeing this one, when they see other people from other tribes being taken before EFCC, in the other last week, even commissioner of finance of Ekiti State was hijacked in the function, taken over by EFCC for 14. Yet we have people today that their petitions are before EFCC, 72 petitions, and they have never been invited, and they are still in the cabinet. Who is now deceiving who? That is the question. I said it just now. You cannot close hate speech. If you want to tell us that you don't want to Islamize Nigeria, I'm not on that campaign, but what I'm saying is that if you are dancing to a tune, you are dancing differently to a particular tune that they are beating, then that shows that your own tune is inside your mind. If you want to tell me today that 16 out of 19 security service chiefs are from one religion, one part of Nigeria, you want to call me a fool? You want to say federal character is not part of what we should practice? You say we should. Now there are no other people from other part of Nigeria. Look at the Inspector General of Police. Look at the indictment. Look at the cases before him. Today, if it were another country, that man would have been told to step down and let somebody standing there. And look at the issue of NNPC. It has been laid to rest now. When a minister who is one of the product of Harvard came out and said this is this, this is that, at the end of the day, it's laid to rest. And you want other people who are seeing this?
This is sensationalism.
It is, sir, let us leave it. The issue is that
you
the
don't
man
have
who has two houses for his wife in Dubai.
You don't have any evidence whatsoever of
But
everything you have said.
no,
It's what you read in the papers.
Okay, Bishop Austin.
Supposed to defend
You
the
read
man
the
who has two
papers.
houses
I'm
for
not
his wife.
defending
Gregor
But the man came out and
please,
said the
please,
body
Gregor,
is
please.
salary. Is it the
He
job
has
of
his
the
time.
president to
Whatever
defend
you
the
say.
chief of army staff? Can the man not defend himself?
Bishop
Is there any immunity
Bishop
on
Austin
him?
Igbasa. Let's
There's no immunity
let's
on him.
look at the aspect of
If a serving governor account can be closed against constitution because the man is talking against the president, that the account can be closed against, with all the immunity. What's the people that are going up and down that they didn't have immunity?
Thank you,
I
Austin
want you to convince me that this person is not a one-sided person.
Okay,
With
thank
all
you,
the points
Austin
I've made
Igbasa.
before
Please, let's try and calm down on nerves, ensure that we do
that
the right
Jonathan
thing.
did not do other
Let's
things
look
in
at the
Niger
aspect.
Delta, and
Bishop Austin
Obasanjo
Igbasa.
did
I'm
it.
still
Shows that
asking
Jonathan
you
is a
question.
national person.
I'm
He's not
still
an elder
asking
state
you
person.
the question.
It's not like
Now,
somebody that carry
the
everything to
aspect-
his house.
Reports have it on today's papers that the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, made it clear that for us to be able to fund infrastructures and to reduce poverty, we must go on borrowing to stimulate the economy. And the World Bank Group also kicked against that we do not have the revenues to pay debts because the revenues are dried up. Now, what you see as the way forward in respect of funding infrastructures?
I want to appreciate the federal government for their fight against corruption. And they have told us that they have recovered some billions and trillions of money. That if we have this recovery somewhere, why should we go on borrowing? In my place, you don't have a witch and go and hire a witch. If you have a witch inside your house, you don't need to go and hire a witch outside. If we have recovered those big amount of money from corrupt people, and it is a credit to this government, I think we should dip our hand into that corrupted money that was looted and we have recovered. And we should use that money to follow up our infrastructure and put it in education, put it on roads, and let people be saying, this money is stolen by Mr. So and so, brother 17 stole this money. This money, we recover it from him. And we are using it to Ore, to Ijebu. That was the money.
But very quickly, the presidency has also said that part of the funding of the infrastructures is from the money generated from the looted from those who looted Nigeria's treasury.
I don't want to believe it because even the federal
why
government.
don't you want to believe it?
I don't want to believe it because they are not transparent with.
The vice president who said
Wait. You have every opportunity to react to that, but
Now,
please let him
what
finish.
I want to say is that I don't want to believe that the federal government is truthful and sincere with what they are saying. If we recover, let's say Mr. 17 stole and we recover this money from him, what we expected is that Mr. 17 stole so amount of money, 50 billion, we have recovered 13 billion from him. We are going to use this money to handle the road between Benin and Delta State. The government must be, if you want to deal with corruption, you must also be transparent with it. So amount is recovered from Mr. F. We are going to focus this amount of money on so infrastructure in so local government or so region of the federation. Now today, even those people in government, many of them cannot tell you how much has been expended on so many things. Today we have seen a lot of things within this. What about budget padding and all the rest? Where are those cases got into? It has been laid to rest perfectly because it is within. If a senator said something that corruption within the legislature is insecticide you use to fight it, and within the executive they use deodorant to fight it. You want to say that man is a fool? That man has not seen some things that we that are seated here have not seen, by the virtue of his position, by the virtue of the party he came from, by the virtue of his exposure, by the virtue of his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the committee he supervised in the National Assembly. It is not a mere statement. This is a statement of father. You can trace and track. If we have recovered this money, the way we can kill corruption is to say, Mr. F stole 13 billion. We have recovered 11 billion. The man is going to jail. The matter is a court, but we have 12 billion with us. This 12 billion, we are going to use it to do rice farm in Ekpoma. And we are giving it to a contractor from Isha. This is the name of the man. If the man failed to execute this project, youth in this area, you know his address. You know how to drag it.
Okay, thank you. In a nutshell, what you are saying is that the government should be transparent enough
about corruption.
in its expenditures.
And everybody should know that this man is corrupt. He should know that the man comes from my village. I should cover him up. Let me give you an example. My junior brother, born of the same mother, did something in the church. I excommunicated him for 1 year. He was the one on our keyboard, and we did not have a keyboardist for 1 year because I know that the church does not belong to me. It's the church of Jesus. And when I did that to my brother, every other person among the youths, they stood their ground. They know that this is not a church of a family. It's the church of Jesus, and it should be like that. Then our leaders should practice an anti-corruption and live a life of that is free from corruption.
Okay, let's bring transparency, Prince Greg, into the activities of government. Like today is known for a fight against poverty, eradicating poverty globally, and looking at the Nigerian context and what the government has done so far in funding social programs, in funding capital projects to ensure that we have this poverty reduction, looking at the homegrown school feeding program, looking at the NPower project. How can we say these policies or these programs have impacted the lives of the citizenry?
Cool. But the first thing, I'd like to advise my brother, the bishop, not to use the church as an example of transparency, because there's an obvious certain discrepancy, dysfunctionalism in there. The church cannot be an example of transparency in any way.
I didn't use the church. I
No,
only
you
used
did.
what I did.
You did.
What I did.
And it was a church you used. You said your church.
Use shrine.
Okay, straight to the point now.
Because
Prince.
we can then go in there and then show that the churches are not as transparent as you say they should.
What I did
in
was
terms
what I
of in terms of funding, we must start to think outside the box. We must start to think outside the box. Government cannot fund everything. And you must not forget that ultimately government comes from the people.
But government has been funding some of the projects
Well, but that is
and
an
programs.
old- that is an old model.
What I ask is,
It's an old
what
model of
is the
development.
impact? Can you tell us the impact of these programs, of these projects?
No, you can't.
The citizenry.
Well, you can see some. I will give you a perfect example. The school feeding program has impacted favorably on farmers, because it is the farm produce from the localities that are used for the school feeding programs. I know it is working very well in Oyo State. I know Edo State is getting ready to do that. I know that because I'm a rice farmer. And I know that once it starts off in Edo State, the schools in that area will take off what we are producing. So you can see that that is already making an impact. Now, the social and economic stabilization policies, which they're doing, giving to credits to traders and farmers, is already working. You can see the output. I was just saying that we're going to have a problem this Christmas because of the roads between Edo North and Edo North, Edo Central, and Edo South. We have abundant harvest from people turning to agric in this last 1 year as a result of government funding. Now, roads infrastructure is going to be a problem. Now, how
Like
do we
the Benin Auchi Road, for instance.
Yes, because now if you want to bring a bag of rice from Auchi to Benin, you have to either take it through Delta State, Agbo, or take it through Ifon in Ondo State before you can get it to Benin. Now, and we've had that road for how many years?
But is that not a project of government that
yes, but it's
long
government
been done?
Yeah, exactly, long been done. All of a sudden, the agitators and everybody wakes up now because they say it is a Fulani man that is president. When we had our own Edo men as ministers, that road wasn't done. It is now that people wake up and say, why is the road not done? Okay, but let's look at it that way. There's nothing wrong with the government going into PPP with a private company and putting a toll gate there. I'm putting a toll gate and saying, well, if you want to drive along this straight road, you pay a toll. Otherwise, drive through Ekpoma into Agbo and from Agbo to Benin, or go through Ifon to Sobe to Ifon and then from there to Benin. But if you want to drive along this straight road, pay a toll and let that toll be used to fix the road, continuously maintain the road. That is how it is done everywhere else in the world. It is a model that works. We must think outside the box. You can't expect government to do everything. Government doesn't have the resources to do everything. There's a lot of capital held in private enterprise. And private enterprise and individuals and communities can come together and put money into the system or even develop projects themselves.
Thank you.
We must do that. You see churches,
Okay.
and you see churches that are built with hundreds of millions of naira, and the road in front of them, there's a big gash, there's a big hole. You've never heard of a church. There's only one church in the whole of Nigeria I've heard that built a road. Dunamis in Abuja.
So everything should not be left in the hands of
It
government.
cannot.
All right.
The churches make a lot of, look, there are 80 million, a minimum of 80 million Christians in Nigeria. If you take 10% of their income, that's more money than a lot of states. That's 80 million people. I mean, for example, Belgium, Luxembourg, and so on. They have populations of 4, 5, 6, 7 million.
Okay. I will quickly want your remark as we round off now. I will quickly want your remark on the statement credited to the World Bank Group when they said that Nigerian government does not have the wherewithal to really back up the debts and
I don't agree with that.
borrowing to stimulate the economy.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Because they don't know our productive capacity. If they are talking about oil, then, yeah, they might have a point. But how about our solid minerals? How about our human capital, which is even more than all that? We have the potential. We have the market. We have an internal market that's over 180 million people. Like, even if we're just trading amongst ourselves, now there's the whole of West Africa as well, As the same way that terrorism comes in and herdsmen coming from all over West Africa, goods and produce and services can also go out through those borders. So nobody can tell us that our economy is only worth $300 billion a year, as it is now. But what is our potential? So they can't tell us what we should do.
Okay, thank you. Bishop Austin Igbazan, as we round off, your final words on this as we look towards poverty eradication, which today stands for.
My own is that the government should be transparent. Because even you are talking about giving money to market women and all that, you discover that some of these microcredit, whatever that is being given, they are not being given to the real people that really need it.
They are.
The people that are poor.
They
Come
are.
and line them up and say, this my boy is a baba.
I'm the chairman
This
of a
one
cooperative, and
selling
they
yam.
are.
And
They
a lot
are.
of people today are collected in the name. All of us in my place, they say we know how to put meat for mouth and close mouth and say nothing in my mouth. It's always, what is important is that until the people that really need these things are carried along. I was telling some people recently, I say, you say town hall meeting. I say leave town hall meeting. Before people come for town hall, they have already given number to those who will ask questions. The real people will not ask questions. You will not raise up your hand forever. Nobody will call you to ask questions. We have seen it even in National Assembly. When the Senate president does not like you, you will raise your hand forever. Until he call you, you cannot get up and stand
They
up.
accuse, that's what they accuse churches of, that they fix up miracles and that they choose somebody who will come and perform a miracle.
Yeah.
That's what they accuse. So
Okay,
you see,
okay.
don't judge so
Okay.
that you will not be
No,
judged.
what
Okay,
I'm
thank
saying
you,
is that
thank you.
let the government be transparent. Let us see the real
Let
poor
all
people.
Nigerians be
Let
transparent.
us be transparent
All-
to ourselves.
all of
the
us.
government, because if you recover fund and it still passes through the back door, the same money that is corrupted is being looted through the back door, then there's no sincerity there. Let there be sincerity in the part of the government. Nobody will find it difficult to pay tax if people really see that the tax is being used for a particular
When pastors are
markets-
flying
Thank
in
you.
private
Thank
jets,
you.
pastors are flying
Thank you.
private jets,
Prince
they don't
Greg-
pay tax,
Greg-
and they are flying
Greg
private
Ogegwa.
jets.
Greg Ogegwa.
Are they not people too?
Please,
Are they not
I
Nigerians?
really
These
frown
things must
at
become-
your interjections.
No,
I
no,
must say.
seriously, no.
I
I
really
mean,
frown at
Pastor
your
and I are friends.
interjections.
I mean, Bishop
No,
and I
no,
have to,
this
no,
forum
you see,
is
if
to
you have-
educate.
That's what we're talking
and
about.
The impression is that the viewers would not have the opportunity to benefit from this.
What, is it that
That's
they
the
don't know that
impression.
bishops are
That's
flying
the
in private
impression of
jets?
your interjections.
No, is it that they don't know that
Please.
bishops are flying in
Please.
private jets and they are not paying taxes?
I will give you a minute to round off, to finalize your statement or your words on this segment, but let him finish.
So
please.
I want to beg the government to be sincere and let us not give appointments that will stir up anger in the heart of some people to feel that they are not part. If God had made majority and minority tribe in this country, God did not make mistake. It is not about saying Nigeria unity is not negotiable. When you are doing something that is dividing the people, you must do something that brings all of us together. Let a man from the minority be given an opportunity, because in all of the tribe in Nigeria, there are people who are intelligent, well educated, that can handle. There is no particular appointment in this country that no tribe that,
right.
that is this country that don't have people to manage.
Thank you.
So,
your final words on this.
I mean, I'd like to say that, you know, the typical thinking of Nigerians has to stop. We have to stop that. You know, even Bishop just said, let a man from the minority be given a chance. Jonathan was from the smallest state in Nigeria, 8 local governments. He became president of this country. What other opportunity do the minorities want to have? You know, we must go beyond that, and we must stop judging other people. We must stop thinking of ourselves as separate. We must start thinking of ourselves as one. You, as a leader in the body of Christ, knows that all human beings, no matter what color they are, no matter what tribe, they are one. Whatever good is done for one man is done for all. Whatever progress is done for Benin Kebe is done for the people of Ota in Ogun State as well. The Spirit of God covers the whole earth. The earth belongs to the Lord and the fullness thereof. And so whatever good you do to one human being, you do for all. And we must stop all that thinking about, they have not done for me, they must do for me. It is not, it's not Buhari that is going to make Nigeria. It is God. And God will look after all of us. And we must stop hating and stop dividing. And the leaders, especially those in the churches and the mosques, must stop leading the divisions.
Thank you so much for all that. Thank you very much, Bishop Austin Igbasan, for that. Well, it is the responsibility of us all to ensure that we do things that will make a progress for this country. And that's exactly what we've been doing. The discussants are really keen into ensuring that we have a better Nigeria. Well, we still look forward to the social intervention investments by the federal government and how it can key into eradicating poverty, because today happens to be the day where we talk about poverty eradication. Much time really we couldn't find to X-ray more on this topic. Well, other segments are coming on This Morning on ITV. Don't you go away.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.